Good morning, beloveds. So we had this storm kind of come up out of nowhere and just kind of, it was really bad for about 15 minutes and it took the power out again. Now, fortunately, it was the end of the day. Uh, we had one last customer come in as the power was blinking. We got that customer taken care of and they were new. And so hopefully they'll come back. Um, but yeah, and then today dawned beautiful and we are about to enter the heat of the summer. They're talking hundreds soon, and I'm just like, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. But I know where I live, so yeah. And there's so much moisture in there. They keep talking about how we're gonna those chances of those pop-up thunder showers. Oof. Okay, it is June 9th. Our title is Bible Study. The quote is, oh no, I'm sorry. Our author is Agnes M. Lawson from Hints to Bible Study from 1920. And this is from the Divine Science Federation. So let's see what she has to say. Agnes, that's my grandmother's name. Bible study will never cease to be vital to those who desire to reach spiritual heights of attainment and accomplishment. We awakened on a spiritual staircase that we seem to have climbed. This is the stairway the race has climbed, and we inherit the fruits of their labor. There are yet stairs above us reaching into infinity. We are the surer of our present position and the better equipped for the journey ahead if the essential steps below us are firmly embedded in our consciousness. History has a fashion of repeating itself, and in the light shed by the past attainment, our decisions are wiser and surer. So it's a short one. And I'm not sure what to make of it. Outside of what she's encouraging us to do is to make it a point to read sacred literature. Okay? Now, she specifically says the Bible. You know me, I enjoy sacred literature from around the world, so I do encourage you to read the Bible. I have read pretty much all of it in one Bible class, and I say pretty much all of it because you understand that depending on which tradition you're from, there are different books in the Bible. So I'm sure that there are some books out there that I haven't read. And I've even bought the books talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I've got the Gnostic Bible, which has some other books in it that nobody has. And so you will do yourself a favor if you do a couple of things. One, understand that the Bible is not a book. It is a library. Okay? It is a library. It is a number of different books by different authors collected together. It was not written by God. Okay? It was inspired by God. And the point of the Bible is to point back to God. Now, here's where I'm going to remind you that throughout history, people have done terrible things with that library. So, the best hint that I can give you is to read the Bible as a metaphor and put yourself in the place of each character and see how it relates to your life. Okay? And let other people read the Bible the same way. Because it's a book inspired by God that is meant to point back to God. And so what you want to do is read the stories in the Bible and see how they point you back to God. And don't get caught up in anybody else's journey with that literature. All right. And one of my most favorite exercises that I ever did while I was in the youth program at CLC was I took the parables of Jesus and I looked them up and I read the parables of Jesus to the teenagers. And then I said, what does this story mean to you? We didn't read anybody else's interpretation, because one of the problems that we have with reading any sacred literature, not just the Bible, but, with any sacred literature, is that people read commentaries on the Bible, but they never actually read the Bible for themselves. So what I'm encouraging you to do, as Agnes is encouraging us, is go read the books for yourself. Read the stories for yourself. Because what these teenagers heard, and then what you hear the intellectuals with the parables of Jesus, the teenagers came at it from a very practical point. And they were like, okay, this is what I hear in this particular. And it was fascinating. And then you go and read the commentaries and you're like, you know what? I think you're overthinking this parable. The teenagers were, and that's one of the amazing things about talking to teenagers about this kind of stuff, is because they don't overthink it. They don't overthink it. They tell you what they hear, and then you can come back and look at it from your point of experience, because you've got far more experience than a teenager does. And then you're kind of blown away because they're like, okay, maybe I was overthinking that parable. So and I do encourage people to go out and have conversations about the Bible. But here's what I'm going to remind you: don't make anybody else wrong about the Bible, because each of us are going to have our own relationship with the Bible, and it's going to inform our journeys in a variety of different ways. And it's our own life experiences that are going to help us read the books and point us on that journey up the staircase, as she likes to say. So there is, when it comes to books like the Bible, I don't think we have the right to tell anybody else that they're wrong. With one caveat to that: if they are clearly taking it out of context. And that is one of the reasons why I loved Reverend Norm so much. And I had several classes with him, but one of the classes that he took, that I took with him, and that's exactly what he said, is read a few lines before, read a few lines after. You can't take lines out of context. And I will give you an example. It's the same example I gave the other day with Leviticus. Is, somebody is sitting there, talking about some law in Leviticus, and the very next law talks about the tattoos, and you're looking at them going, so you want to follow this law in Leviticus, but not this law in Leviticus, and they're literally a line apart because you got a tattoo. Oh, and you are wearing, material of blended fibers or fabrics or whatever they call it. And I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. But you also have to remember that, for people who claim to be Christians, Leviticus is Jewish law. So when we take things out of context, that is when we get into trouble. So don't take things out of context. Read the entire book. And I'm not talking about the Bible, because like I said, the Bible is a library. Read the entire chapter, read the entire passage, read a few lines before you take something out of context. Because a line that you think means one thing, if you read it in context, may mean something completely different. The other thing is based on your life experiences, you are going to have a different experience with it than somebody else will. So we would get a lot further along in this journey with Bible study if we would stop trying to make each other wrong and just listen. That's one of the reasons why I would take, this kind of sacred literature to the teenagers and read it to them and listen to what they had to say. And not, I'm certainly not going to make them wrong. And oftentimes, they made me go back and look at it and go, maybe I was overthinking this. So, and that's the power of, sacred literature. So I do encourage you. And that's what she says. She says, history has a way of repeating itself. And if we've looked at the steps before, it's what she's calling the Bible, when it comes back around again, we can look at it and go, I think I've seen this pattern before. Oh, right. I've gotten some hints on how to handle this. The prodigal son being an excellent example of history repeating itself. Oh, wait, I think I know how to handle this. So, and we will be firmer and surer on the steps going up if we have a good grounding in the steps going before. That's what she's asking you to do. She's not telling you to believe anything. What she's saying is go read it for yourself. Go read it for yourself. And I would say the same thing. The Bible is a fascinating set of books. Go read it for yourself. Don't listen to the interpretations of other people without reading it for yourself. Okay? I'm not saying don't listen to other people. I'm just saying read it for yourself and then form your own opinion. All right. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is exactly that. Go read it for yourself. Go read. I do. She says, we are sure of our present position and better equipped for the journey ahead if the essential steps below us are firmly embedded in our consciousness. History has a fashion of repeating itself, and in the light shed on past attainment, our decisions are wiser and surer. So, Bible study will never cease to be vital to those who desire to reach the spiritual heights. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is just that. Go read the sacred literature for yourself. Okay? It is a library. The Bible specifically is a library of books that point you towards the infinite. Read it for yourself. Okay? And there are all kinds of different translations out there. I happen to agree with Reverend Norm. I do really like the Catholic translations. They're very nice, but I did end up with a student Bible, which is fantastic because it's got maps and things. And then they've got some other ones. I think there's one called The Message, where they've translated the Bible into modern language. Okay? And sometimes what has been fascinating is to pull my student Bible, my Catholic Bible, and my the Message, and read the 3 passages, from each one, and see the different translations. Yeah, like I said, read it for yourself. All right. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. It can be one thing. It can be a whole thing. It can be an all-day thing. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak, which, if you haven't figured out, that means when you speak to yourself or others, not just when you speak to others. Think about what you are saying to yourself. That's what, because sometimes we don't speak lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to ourselves. So I want you to think about that. And make the inside of your head a nice place to be. That's part of what this practice is, to be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself. Especially if you're going to tackle sacred literature like the Bible. I do encourage you to do things like take a walk, to take a nap, to take a break, to speak your truth occasionally in situations where you're like, you know what? This isn't okay with me. That is loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. I also, one of the things, it used to be a throwaway line, and then I realized that it meant something different. Eat dessert first. Okay. What I realized that meant is don't save the good stuff. Your life is a special occasion. I encourage you to treat it as such, so don't save the good stuff. Eat the good chocolate. Drink the good stuff. Use the fine china. Wear the nice clothes, or wear the comfortable clothes. I hope your nice clothes are comfortable. I'm a big believer in that. But it also looks like turning yourself off and turning yourself back on again. It looks like giving yourself a break. And sometimes, it looks like taking some time and thinking for yourself. All right. Love, kindness, compassion. Practice on yourself for multiple reasons. 1, you are your own best test subject. Is this the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing? You get immediate feedback. 2, I'm encouraging you to create a habit. When we practice every day, then it creates that first response. So that then no matter what happens, you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately to it. But you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. I want you to remember that. And that is the reason why I encourage you every day to practice on yourself. You deserve your own love, kindness, and compassion. Please practice on yourself. Okay? All right. The rest of the suggestions are the same. Always do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you today. Please drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. We are headed towards the hundreds here, so I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Your brain works better when it is well hydrated. And if you are going to take on sacred literature like the Bible, please hydrate. Please hydrate. If nothing else, it'll make you take plenty of pee breaks. And you need that when you're tackling sacred literature. Breaks. And then I do encourage you to get early in your day, bright light. There were very few clouds this morning. I definitely got the sunlight this morning. Whew. So that 5-10 minutes, yeah. It's a 30-minute. I limit myself to 30 minutes. So if it's a walk or a ride or whatever it is, it's about 30 minutes. But I'm getting that sun. I'm resetting that circadian rhythm. I'm resetting those hormones. It'll help you have more energy during the day and hopefully help you sleep better at night. So try that. Early in your day, bright light, 5-10 minutes. And then as you get towards the evening, try and stay away from that bright light. So those hormones will do what they're supposed to do. All right. It's called a circadian rhythm. Starts with a C if you decide to Google it. It's science. You can look it up. And as always, I'm going to quote Ernest Holmes to you because it's my favorite quote. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time because it's a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. And the point of studying sacred literature, the point of Bible study, as Agnes is talking about, that's what it is. It points us to the kingdom of God, which Jesus told us where it was. It is within us, all right? So when we open the windows of our soul and allow ourselves to be aware of the one source of everything, which is God, we move through the world differently. And you can always take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice, look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will get you everywhere, all right? So, take it on. It is a challenge, but you are well capable of it. Okay, I am now going to move into the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias, so check both. And then I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on, so please feel free to check out those contents. I looked the other day and I realized because I've been reading these books and I've done 3 books, I have over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. That's kind of what? We don't have anywhere near that many on the Creative Life Spiritual YouTube channel, but give us a minute. Because one of the things that we're going to start doing is uploading old videos, or not old videos, old audio tracks and adding some pictures to them so that you can hear some of Reverend Jesse's older talks. We're super excited about that project. We just got to kick that off. And what that means is I need to find time. As I said, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got time. All right. So avail yourself of that. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. And those in that email, if it says click here now, it will take you right to, i.e. the soul session playlists. It will take you right to that playlist. And there's good stuff on that playlist. So check it out. Okay. Now, I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a Friday, because it's Friday, and I get to go to the park tomorrow, and I'm super excited. Yay. And my mom's coming to town today, so she's going to go to the park with me, so this could be interesting. She's going to get to meet my squirrels and my blue jays. All right, so I could be late tomorrow, or I might be early, who knows. But, great day. Have a great day. have a sacred literature day, have a Bible study day, have a be firm on your staircase day, as she says, a know who you are day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God, a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, a godling, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. All right? You may be the only Bible some people read. Teach them the God of your understanding. All right? The God of my understanding is a God of love. That's what Jesus said. I come not to break the laws, but to fulfill them in love. That is the God of my understanding. Okay. Which means I need to get up and get going. So I'm going to remind you, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. I do get to go to the park tomorrow. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.